wrestling buddies want to be your buddies.
What's going on?
Hey, buddy. Buddy.
You got me mad now.
The beautiful thing about this golden age of wrestling is that no matter where you are in the world, there's always great television, outstanding live events, and incredible personalities to get behind, which is exactly what we're going to do right now as we welcome you to the Wrestling Compadres Slamcast right here on Fox Sports. Yeah, I know. We're going to get to it right now. Just listen up, okay? Here we are. We're on Fox Sports. Follow us at Fox Compadres on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook.com/Fox Compadres. So many extra bonus things on that Facebook page. Go check it out. Let's get right to the introductions. I'm Johnny LaQuasto. Find me on Twitter at JQuasto. The man to my far left, he's the host of Curtain Jerks. He's also very involved in YouTube.com/OnYourMark show. You got to check it out. Find him on Twitter at Curtain Jerks because he's Scott Narver.
Curtain Jerk Compadres, always there to save the day. Scott Narver, Scott Narver.
Those allegations of me being involved in that show are not substantiated.
Yeah. Is that the word you're looking for?
Yeah, I got Chick-fil-A in my mouth.
Well, that's not a good thing.
They do not endorse the show, nor do they endorse On Your Mark.
But we had it for dinner tonight.
Nor do we endorse their views.
Nor do they endorse four-syllable words. And we do not endorse their views. Open up on Sundays, guys. Anyways, next to Scott
Among other
Narver,
things.
she is a host and a writer here at Fox Sports. Find her stuff all over the place, whether it's WWE, MMA, or hockey. Find her on Twitter at Carlin Baith, because that's who she is.
She knows how to host and she knows how to skate. She's your friend and our friend. It's Carlin Bay.
You know, I forgot how to skate, so...
No
maybe we
way.
need a song.
No, you didn't. You can never forget how to skate.
Jokes! Jokes!
Oh, you're half Canadian.
It's like riding a skate bike. You never forget.
Yeah.
You did forget how to dress, though. This shirt is inside out.
Well, whatever.
Are you
It is.
kidding me?
It's
Nope.
big time inside out.
The
All
tag
the tags
is
are out.
totally on the outside.
Oh my god, I've been wearing it like this all day and no
Round
one
of applause
told
for
me.
Carlin Baith, everybody.
Oh, Jesus.
Those allegations of that shirt are not substantiated.
I also didn't wash it after I got Tommaso Ciampa's blood on it. So this is a scum shirt.
Do tell.
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Oh.
Next to Carlin Baith, he is back from Washington, D.C., the host of Dishing on Movies and a travel blogger, and he's all over the world all the time. Find him on Twitter at TheWalkingDale because he's Dale Rutledge.
He always wears a vest, so you rocking with the best. The vest is business. He's best for business. Who it is? That's Dale Rutledge.
Let's talk it out.
Okay, we will. All right, guys, so it's 7 weeks now since the brand extension and the draft in the WWE, so we figured this is a good week. Some might call it a bit of a slow week, even though we do have a network exclusive coming up this Sunday, Backlash. We figured this would be a good time just to kind of recap and decide what we think is the better brand and better show so far over these past 7 weeks. Now, granted, we're all about being patient, all right? We want things to progress. But right now,
Will you hurry up and get to it, for God's sake?
Okay!
Jesus, Johnny.
God,
Bottom
you
line
just
is,
said.
which show is better? Do you prefer the 3-hour Monday Night Raw, or do we prefer the 2-hour Tuesday SmackDown Live?
I gotta say, I prefer SmackDown Live.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Scotty, okay.
Record scratch?
Raw, I feel like, is an established show. It's set. No matter what players you put in there, you're going to have Raw. You're going to have that same caliber show. SmackDown is now live. It's up in the air. There are new characters. There are new things happening week to week that make me curious. I'm always curious about SmackDown. Raw, the expectations are always high, and if they're lower than that of what they deliver, I'm disappointed, or people get in a huff about Raw. But SmackDown, I just never know what's going to occur on that show. So I'm always more eager to watch SmackDown Live. And that is, being eager about a wrestling show is something that is more exciting to me than watching something that is an institution of 3 hours.
Okay, to follow up that question, though, to being eager is one thing. Have you been more often than not disappointed or satisfied following SmackDown so far?
Satisfied.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Like a delicious Chick-fil-A sandwich?
Yes.
Satisfied?
Like all of Heath's children, I'm very satisfied with the product.
Man, I just don't.
Did you just say, I don't believe you?
I don't believe you.
Carlin's at a loss for sentences right now. She substantiatedly just disagrees with you.
Oh, man, do I not believe you. You're lying, Scotty. Raw, to me, is the superior show. I've said that before, and I'm going to say it again. And I do like that you know that it's going to be good. You kind of said it in your own words, Scotty. You're like, I like the fact that I've got stuff to look forward to on SmackDown because I don't know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen. A bunch of bull poopy. And that's what's going to happen every week after week. 2 hours of bull poopy.
Watch your...
Wow. Carlin Baith, everyone.
Drink it in.
Don't drink bull poopy.
No, don't drink bull
That's
poopy.
not advised, actually.
But Raw, it has a stronger tag division. I mean, and it's got stronger stars. And now SmackDown, John Cena is not there for however long, and he was like the biggest star they have on the show. So we've got to rely on Dean Ambrose and AJ. And sorry, I'm falling asleep.
You ain't watching SmackDown. You ain't
Wait.
watching SmackDown for John Cena.
Yeah, you know
get
you
out
weren't.
of here.
Just put Enzo and Cass on there, and maybe I'll keep my eyes open.
Carlin, you watch SmackDown for John Cena like you watch Raw for Roman Reigns. Don't try to fool us.
I don't believe you.
Stop calling me out, Johnny.
You ain't your cat, Toby.
No. Roman Reigns, Mark. God.
Toby.
So, Dale,
Anywho.
Hey.
break this tie so far.
Oh, okay. I go with Raw.
Boom.
Your turn.
Tie has been broken.
Yeah,
no,
man.
you know, I kind of echo what Scott said, except it's about the CWC for me. It's seeing where this is going inside of Raw. Are they going to treat it like another tournament type thing? How much time are they going to give it on Raw? Are they going to really use that extra hour to dedicate to these new guys who are, all indie really guys that are coming up and getting a big opportunity? And I just love seeing the business grow, and Raw has that component to it. Not saying that SmackDown is bad by any means. It did have a slow start for me. I think it's found its groove, and I think with the new champions coming, there hasn't been anything to chase until right now.
What would they be without Heath Slater, though? Kind of nothing. He's like the best part of SmackDown.
He's been showing up on both brands, though, kind of, sort of. More so SmackDown.
More so SmackDown now, but We Want Slater is definitely happening in both auditoriums.
I mean,
of wherever
Slater's
they
kids
are
are showing up all over the place. He's like Sean Kemp. He's
He
got
has
a lot of
27,
kids.
yeah. I mean, I think we could be in this room. We don't know. One of y'all his kid?
My dad is a ginger, so like
I knew it.
I could be, yeah.
Hold on a minute, player.
But yeah, CWC going to Raw too.
Huge.
That to me, that's just more fuel for my fuel tank.
Okay.
It's more fuel for Braun Strowman.
Where else would you put
That's
your fuel
more
exactly?
fuel for my bonnet.
Yep.
I don't know. Okay, which show is better thus far? I guess I'm going to have to go with Raw, but which show am I more intrigued to watch right now? I'm going to say SmackDown because I love the underdog, and the fact is SmackDown moving to Tuesday nights, becoming live, is the underdog. Daniel Bryan, the perennial underdog his entire career. Shane McMahon coming back after a 6+ year absence. Them teaming up together. I just love the dynamic. Granted, right now Mick Foley and Stephanie McMahon are probably a better dynamic overall on Raw. But I love the fact that we do have a lot of NXT people. We have a lot of people that haven't necessarily been proven on national television yet. So I'm really intrigued. Like Scotty said, I've been disappointed a little more than I've been satisfied afterwards, but I'm still very excited. The 6-pack challenge I think is fantastic. Love the women's division there. American Alpha has a chance to be the best tag team in the biz, which they might be already, according to some people. And I don't want to give up on Dean Ambrose as champion yet. I'm just waiting for something to grasp onto. I think we all are.
Yeah, I'm waiting for something too. Him to not be champion.
Well, that might happen this Sunday.
I'm sorry, I just woke up. What were you talking about?
So speaking of waking up though, 3 versus 2 hours. 3 hours is a long time. Even Triple H admitted he would prefer Raw to be 2 hours. That has to play into it.
Cena said that too back
It's
in
a lot
the
of
day.
time, man.
If only those guys held any power.
I know.
Who you got to know. Yeah, I mean, that's the nice thing about, again, it goes back to the cruiserweight guys joining. At least that extra hour can have some kind of vibe to it. 3 hours is a lot. I'd much prefer a 2-hour show any day. I don't watch anything for 3 hours except for wrestling.
And when it comes down to, 3 versus 2 hours, you also have to add in the fact of roster sizes. Is that an issue? Now, the cruiserweight division looks like it's going to be just so much fun being added to Raw, which, let's be honest, 3 hours, they could really use that cruiserweight division.
Yeah, and it seems like they're hiring a whole slew of those guys, too.
Hey.
Every week we learn a new sign up for the CWC.
That's super exciting.
Yeah, it's great.
But with SmackDown, Scotty, a lot of people feel like the roster seems a little bit thin. Do you think that's the case, or do we just have to be more patient and let things play out a little bit?
I think it is a thinner roster, obviously, but I think that's a great thing because
Right.
then week to week, chances are you're going to see 80% of those performers on that show. You're not going to watch Raw and go, well, where was this person? Where was this person? Once they all get they oversaturate the roster again, that's always the problem. And it seems like Raw is heading in that direction really quickly. So I know on SmackDown, I get to see a lot of the same guys week to week in storied feuds and have progression.
Now, a lot of people feel like the issues with SmackDown thus far start and end with the current champion. Now, Scotty, you chose SmackDown as your favorite show to watch. Is Ambrose the problem? And I can't believe I'm saying this. A year ago at this time, I never thought I would have said this because I loved everything Ambrose did. I can't quite put the finger on what has happened. Can you?
Dean is phony. Dean is a real big phony right now in what he's doing. I don't believe this is Dean's best work. I don't think this is something that Dean would look back at and go, I'm so glad as champion I got to drink a guy's coffee and spit it back in there and hand it back to him.
Because I made it too sweet.
Yeah, like that was classic moments. I think in some of his matches.
Did you guys just too sweet his coffee?
Hell yeah.
Wow.
What's up?
This isn't Dean's. This isn't what Dean wants to do. I believe. I don't think this is.
Can't be.
It's like the Rey Mysterio champion run when he was the world champion. That he was just fighting giants the whole time, and you didn't see him get to be a triumphant champion in any way.
But going back to the Stone Cold interview, which many
must we?
I know it was not.
Made us listen to it again in the car.
I did.
Put me to sleep.
It was not a favorite, but if you recall, Dean Ambrose said he's like, yeah, now it's pretty cool. They just kind of, give me free reign to do what I want. So is he doing what he wants?
But that's what messes me up is that interview because I'm like, oh, they're just saddling him with this like weird comedy bit and then they're making him be a serious dude. But after seeing him on there, I'm like, he doesn't seem to give a shit either way what he's doing. He's just like, I come up with ideas, but, sometimes, like, I don't know, you can't really do what you want to do.
It is not defined in any way. It is just murky waters the whole way through, and it's not awesome Bray Wyatt murky waters where it's mischievous and perplexing. It is murky and it's weird. Miz right now, if Miz were the world champion, he is doing so many compelling things and just breaking barriers and blurring the lines. Like, that is what I want in a world champion, and Dean is not doing it.
It's funny you say that because that's what Miz said a champion needs to do in the interview that he had with us at Fox. He literally said, you need to reinvent yourself time after time again, or else you're not going to be relevant anymore. So
Chris Jericho, look no further.
Exactly. He's got a mustache. I mean, Dean, maybe he needs to grow something out. I don't know, but he really is resting on his laurels, as Stone Cold said. And what has he done to reinvent himself or to make a damn good name for this title?
That's the thing. If you're going to call him the Lunatic Fringe, how about we get a little bit of a lunatic or something?
Just pick a character either way.
Yeah.
Even Donald Trump's trying to reinvent himself. Guys, come on.
Is he? What is he now?
No,
he wants to be a president?
Well, that's terrifying.
Let's not go there.
Yeah, let's move on. Trust me, if he gets elected, there will be a backlash. Speaking of which,
Oh! Okay.
You get to go in the Hall of Fame now, too.
My butt would explode.
So this Sunday, we have WWE Presents Backlash Network exclusive, and the question is, well, obviously this is the first SmackDown-only pay-per-view special event, whatever you want to call it. How invested are we? And let's go over the matches right off the top. We just got done talking about Ambrose. Dean Ambrose, AJ Styles for the WWE Championship. I will even say this is a different AJ Styles that we've gotten since the brand extension. It's weird. He's going, it's like almost like the comedy route, like when he got crotched last week, which was amazing. But at the same time, it's like, if AJ's going to win the title, I want the pissed off, like I'm the best and no one's going to deny me AJ. Do we want this kind of AJ, Scotty?
His balls were crushed. And you laugh at that?
I did.
You laugh at that? You say this is funny?
Well.
He got his revenge tonight with a swift kick to the balls.
Yes, he did.
So that's funny to you, too?
Crotch versus crotch.
Balls are at stake. This is balls lash that we're going into right now.
Wow.
This is major.
I've actually got that on pay-per-view before. Different context.
Way more expensive.
This Sunday, Balls Lash.
I think AJ had to have some vulnerability to him, and Dean doing that to him, and us laughing at him only gives fuel to the fire of him firing back.
Yeah.
So I think AJ's been showing some good sides to him.
That's because you're the biggest SmackDown fan in the room.
No, I agree too, though. AJ.
That's true. I am the biggest SmackDown fan in the room. I can't deny it.
I like where AJ is headed, and at least to me, he is being a bully, and there is a bit of comedy inside of that, but it's kind of in the same way that the Bullet Club is kind of doing a jokey thing, but then also kicking some major tail. So
They certainly
I really like how AJ is going, much contrast to Mr. Ambrose.
So with that said, Carlin, do you feel like there's a shot that AJ Styles takes the title this Sunday, or is this something they're going to continue for a while? Because, right now, who else would be in the main event besides Dean Ambrose or AJ Styles for the title? On that
they
roster?
could throw Dolph back in, but
Orton
could.
Bray Wyatt.
Orton, yeah.
Well,
there's plenty of options, sort of. They're a little thin in the roster.
Any of
but,
Heath's kids?
Any of Heath's kids.
Any of
any of those gingers stand a chance. I don't know. They got to give Dean a chance.
Yes.
They really need to give him. They need to shake him up. Maybe he needs to listen to our podcast, wake him up a little bit.
Well, he didn't listen to Stone Cold. I don't think he's going to listen to us.
He's got to try to make something out of this run before he loses it, and it's the least memorable run that anybody's ever had. So I'm hoping he retains and does some shit with it, or get off the pot. What's that saying?
Get the F out.
Yeah.
Do some shit with it or get off the pot is definitely not the same.
I'm pretty sure no.
That was it.
Dale, I think that's the one.
That was it.
I think that's the one. Yeah, I think Dean Ambrose, we preach patience with the brand extension. You got to be patient. Don't rush to conclusions. Don't panic. And I want to be patient with it, but it's like, dude, this is your shot. This is your show. Just go crazy, unless they're telling him to dial it back, which I don't understand why they would.
He needs to dial it in, not dial it back.
He certainly does need
Sure,
to dial it in. When it
yeah.
comes down to it, do we think the title's going to change hands? I believe Ambrose will keep the title. Y'all? Okay. Carr.
I just woke up. I'm sorry.
Scotty.
AJ, get it.
Okay.
Just take it. Don't listen to anybody in the back. Just take it.
Just take it and run. You're the face that runs the place. So moving on now, the women's division on Raw is incredibly strong. It's very top heavy. Right now we got Sasha, who is not leaving
Guys,
due to
I have some bad news.
Oh no!
Oh no! What is this, Scotty?
I think I'm gonna be leaving the show.
What? Why?
I talked to some doctors.
You did?
Yeah.
You're just gonna drop that news right now?
Yeah, I thought it'd be important right now. Didn't you see my tweet?
No.
Oh,
we don't look at
I
your
did
Twitter.
see your tweet. Yeah.
What
You didn't look at
is
his Twitter?
happening?
No, I don't look at his Twitter.
You can't go.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go to a doctor's appointment, but then I'll be back.
Scotty.
But
Yeah, I'll be back. I'm just going to a doctor's appointment.
Okay.
After the show, it's
so
fine.
you're not leaving the show.
No, I mean just in between when the show's not running, I'm going to a doctor's appointment and I'll be
But
back.
you acted like you were going to leave the show, and now you're saying you're not going to leave the show, but you just had us all fooled for like
Yeah, I
a
almost
little bit.
cried.
Yeah.
Didn't
Like, my
you
eyes
read my
watered.
tweet?
Jesus, Scotty.
Yeah.
Worst.
So it's top heavy on Raw with the women. We have Sasha Banks, who's not leaving. We have Charlotte, and of course we have Bayley. But I'm intrigued by the women's division on SmackDown. We have the 6-pack challenge coming up this Sunday.
Yeah.
Alexa Bliss, Carmella, Nikki Bella, Naomi, Natty, and Becky. Of course, Alexa Bliss, our special guest this evening.
Yes, indeed.
So the question is, who?
Did you read my tweet?
Right?
No, I blocked you.
Ah.
All right, so who do we think is going to take this one? Because this really is essentially anyone's game. I don't think this is predictable at all. So, Dale.
I agree. Gosh, I mean, I want to pick Alexa Bliss. I want to see some new blood, and I really like her character. Her heel really sells well
Fantastic.
on TV. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I think it comes across great. I just think she's the one that should get it.
Do you think they'll let Nikki lead the charge, though?
No.
Because she's the veteran.
I think-
And go ahead.
Sorry, I think Nikki and Carmella could take what they're doing and continue that forward without the belt.
Sure.
Okay.
That's the only. I just think Nikki is one of the few that's actually had the belt for a while. I mean, it's a different belt, of course, but I think she's the only one that has had a significant run. So why put it on somebody that we kind of expect?
Scotty.
Well, I feel like you didn't get to say much of your point there, Carlin.
No, I kind of did.
Go for it.
Go for
Do
it.
you have a winner?
I mean,
I'll finish it for you again.
Natalia.
I like her as a heel.
Yeah, she's a great heel.
She's due. She's definitely due.
She definitely
She's
is
pregnant?
yeah.
Jesus.
Oh my god!
Didn't you read your tweet?
Is she having kitties?
due. She's at a doctor's appointment.
Natty's a great one, but I keep thinking Naomi, and that's the fan in me because she's so exciting right now. She has reinvented herself in a huge way. She's really exciting, and she's always been a great wrestler. I think she would be a great way to lead the charge of the SmackDown.
Great.
division.
They could put glow-in-the-dark paint on the belt.
Yeah, they sure can.
Gosh, that'd be so cool.
And you talk about being due for something. That's Naomi right there. Natalia's already been a Divas champion. Naomi has not yet.
Yeah.
She's one of the most athletic women we've ever had in the company. She talk about reinventing herself. She's always doing that in a very creative fashion. And plus, I say Naomi wins the title and pins Alexa Bliss. That could lead to something there. I think Natty and Becky can almost be like Owens and Zayn, fight forever, or at least fight for a while. And then, of course, Nikki and Carmella can continue their thing.
Fight for a while.
Fight for a while.
At least for now. Yes, Scotty?
No, that
Yes.
trumped mine.
Naomi is good, but they haven't let her really be a character yet. So I love the entrance. I love what she's doing, but I want to see her get to do something.
It's going to a veteran,
Yeah,
girl.
you're gonna
It's
see her
going
win
to
the
a
title.
veteran.
That's what she'll do. Win the title.
All right, then.
American Alpha taking on the Odd Couple, Heath Slater and Rhino. To me, this is cut and dry. American Alpha right off the top. Bam, winning the title.
You would, because you just laughed when you introduced the other team.
I didn't laugh. I giggled.
I scoff at your laugh.
Okay.
Come on, this is Heath Slater and Rhino. What American Alpha? They already got to the main roster. They're not fighting for anything anymore. They're mailing it in. They got hurt by the Usos. Rhino and Slater are fighting for a family and for an above-ground pool.
And Rhino's also fighting to win public office, I believe.
Yeah, this is major. High stakes for them. So, yeah, they're taking this all the way.
Will that be determined on Sunday? By this match?
Maybe.
Well, then
Carl.
I guess I got to pick them.
I mean, Rhino and Slater, one of the most iconic tag teams in the history of the WWE. Honestly, I think it would be good for Slater to chase and lose this one because he's got to, fight to feed his family. And, I mean, they can't get rid of that so quickly. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Dale.
I agree. I love the story of Slater chasing. I don't think that we need to finish that yet. And they've just been priming ever since we saw American Alpha in SmackDown.
Even NXT, you saw it coming. They never won the titles in NXT either.
Well, right, yeah. So I think there's a lot to do there for those guys as well.
No doubt. Now, here's a match that doesn't have any title involved, but it is very unique. Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt. Orton lost his first match back to Brock Lesnar in big fashion, in a bloody fashion. And Bray Wyatt, who needs this win more? Is someone going to be really affected by losing this? It's a tough call here.
Bray Wyatt, he needs the win. Like, name a time. Name the time that he just...
It's been a while.
Name the freaking time.
I'm hoping this can lead to a title reign for him at some point. Now, Randy Orton's always going to be Randy Orton, so I see your point there.
Yeah, but the way that he bled and that whole Lesnar situation, I kind of feel like you can't have him lose again. Wouldn't that make him look kind of weak?
But he's not weak for bleeding.
He's Randy Orton. I mean, he's always going to be that.
You got cut.
But weak for losing twice in a row.
Orton's going to go nuts. He's going to beat him. That's what I said.
And Bray Wyatt's just going to go back to the compound, regroup.
Continue to break my heart.
Mm-hmm. And lastly, IC title, Miz versus Ziggler. We talked about Miz. If he was the champion right now, the world champion, we'd be totally on board because he has different levels to him. He has the anger. He has the cowardice. He has everything.
Got that chicken deal.
Yeah, he's got the chicken deal. And, of course, this is actually the KFC fight, Miz and Ziggler. I think Miz, I really want to see a long title reign with him.
Is the Colonel the special guest referee?
He should be.
That would be great.
All the colonels.
All the Colonel.
Yes.
Miz retains.
Yeah, Miz is holding on to this.
Yeah.
He's just too hot.
Sorry, Ziggs.
When it comes down to it, on a scale of 1 to 10, Scotty, how excited for Backlash or Balls Lash, as you so adequately put it?
For Balls Lash, I'm an 11.
Okay.
Hello.
For Backlash, I'm a 8.
There you go. Carl.
I'm just going to have to stay awake, I guess.
Jesus.
Wow.
Dale.
7.
That's
Seven's
pretty
better
high
than being
for staying
awake.
awake.
Really?
The hell?
5.5.
You're drinking too many energy drinks,
Jesus.
Carl. Dale.
I'm excited. I want to see these new champs.
Yeah, I'm going 8.5. When it comes down to it, I love new things. This is the first time we've seen an all SmackDown pay-per-view in years, and I'm very excited to see a couple new champions crowd. And I love the belts, and I love the Usos turn, all that stuff. So while we're talking about SmackDown, Dale, why don't we get to our special guest?
Yes, Alexa Bliss. I got to talk to her when I was at the Performance Center.
Yeah.
She is super dope. She's got some great stories, so check it out. This is Fox Sports. I am Dale Rutledge, and this is NXT time. I am here with the lovely Alexa Bliss. How's it going?
Great.
How's that tea?
Oh, it is actually fantastic. It is super sweet but not sugary, which is very nice.
Just fruit, no sugar.
Yes, I love it.
You would think
Thank
it was
you.
brought to you by Tivana, but I just went there on the way here. But Tivana, if you're listening, I'll take your money. So I wanted to start out just saying, it's been a real pleasure to watch you in the ring and see you grow and your character develop as well.
Thank you so much. I
It's
appreciate
been a fun
that.
ride. So kind of take us through, obviously we're here at the Performance Center, we should say. Obviously you're honing your craft here.
Right.
But where else are you kind of looking to get inspiration or to kind of build who you are in the ring?
The way I kind of try to find new things to add to my character or what I do in the ring is actually I just kind of watch people and I
Okay.
watch movies.
Oh, okay.
And William Regal always tells us to find something about somebody that irritates you. And if it irritates you, it'll probably irritate other people. So kind of adapt those mannerisms. So I've kind of done that with a few things in the ring. Like mocking people. I was in the airport once and I saw this little girl just mocking her mother. And for some reason, it just really bothered me. And
I'm sure it bothered her mother also.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. And so I started using it, and it gets reaction. So I was like, I'm going to keep that. So I've basically been doing that. I've watched a lot of movies, try to find things of different characters that, may spark something. In the ring, I watch a lot of wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
I try to adapt a little bit of my background, which was gymnastics and all-star cheer. And I try to find things, little elements here and there to kind of make each move a little bit different so it's my own.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, it's plenty of things to choose from when you come to, because now you're being a little more heelish. So I feel like you have a more things to pull from, like an annoying child at the airport. Now, did you know that you had that inside of you? Like, I mean, this, you're throwing tantrums in the ring and you're really amping it up lately. I mean, is that something that you can you get pissed and act like this, or is this something that you're just kind of developing?
Well, it's funny you say that, because when I first debuted, the character that I was genuinely me. Okay. I loved everything sparkly, glittery. I loved wearing tutus for some reason. I used to watch Honey Boo Boo and wear a tutu, so I could be only on the premieres though, only on the season premieres, not for every episode, because then that's a little pathetic. But that was me. I used to love everything Disney. I loved Tinkerbell, just everything about it. And I used to get really panicked when we would do these drills and it was, being the bad guy. And I used to panic. I used to freeze in the middle of the ring, and sometimes I would cry because I would be like, I can't do this.
Right.
I don't feel it in me to do this. And then when I joined Blake and Murphy, there was just something that happened. They sparked something. They were just like, everybody has something in them to make them mean. And ever since then, it was like something clicked. My first match as my new persona, something clicked, and I knew if somebody was to irritate me, this is what they would do. If somebody was to bully me, this is what they'd do. And it just kind of snowballed from there. Nice. And it's so much more fun.
You mentioned that you were a cheerleader. It was Division I cheerleading, wasn't it?
Yes.
It was legit.
Yes.
Yeah. Were there a lot of mean girls in those situations? I only know, Bring It On.
Oh, of course.
Basically.
Well, I had dealt with a lot of mean girls in middle school and high school because my whole life it was sports. I was a gymnast my majority of my life, and then I transferred into all-star cheer. So I didn't hang out with people in school. I was just very focused on my sport because I competed cheerleading, all-star cheerleading, and I did every division you could do. I did individual, stunt, double, just literally everything, jump, everything. And so I was very socially awkward. And so I was very, I was picked on a lot in middle school and high school, and actually jumped and just.
Oh, geez.
Long story. And it actually put me in this little, bubble, you know what I mean? As it would anybody that's been bullied. And I just kind of pull from that motivation, and I turn it into a positive, and I let it drive me into my character. And that's where I kind of pull from that. So, yeah, I guess there's definitely those people. When I was in all-star cheer, there wasn't those people. In college cheer, one or two would be, that big red girl. And
right.
But other than that, it's basically more of real-life situations that I've lived through and that I've pulled from.
Nice. Did you like Bring It On, by the way, as a movie?
I did like Bring It On. I knew every word of that movie, and that was my jam growing up, let me tell you.
Mine too. So it's already been broadened is what you're talking about.
Oh, yes, exactly.
Okay. So how did you transition into the Arnold Classic? How did that come about?
Oh, wow. The Arnold Classic, I have been in the Arnold Classic every year since I was 5 years old.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize it was that extensive.
Yeah.
Wow. Good for you.
Yeah, my last bodybuilding match show that I ever did was my 15th year in the Arnold.
Okay.
So
Jeez.
Yeah,
That's serious business.
yeah. Well, because it's in my hometown. It's in Columbus. It's our
Okay.
biggest event we have every year.
I see.
So I started in gymnastics there, competing when I was 5 years old. Competed every year. When I quit gymnastics, I transitioned into all-star cheer, which we also competed at the Arnold Classic. When I stopped cheering, I started doing the bodybuilding, which was at the Arnold Classic. And so I've literally grown up in the Arnold Classic every year. And then we actually got to come back. The 1 year I wasn't competing, we got to come back for NXT. So it was one of those things that
destiny to be there.
Exactly. I'm meant to be there every year. I
Wow.
can't get away from it, but I wouldn't have it any
crazy.
other way.
Yeah. So is that how you kind of decided WWE? I mean, in a way, it's kind of a Arnold Classic cheerleader. It's got a lot of those aspects sort of sprinkled throughout it. Like, how did you transition from that into here?
Well, I had always watched wrestling my entire life.
Okay.
My family, big wrestling fans.
Nice. Okay.
My grandparents, huge wrestling fans. It's
Oh,
just
that's
it's
awesome.
one of those things that runs in the family. Like my
Yeah.
Aunt Kim thought she was going to marry Stone Cold, like was convinced.
Nice.
My grandma loved American Dream, Dusty.
Oh, okay.
She loved him, and
He's staring at me right over your
Yes.
shoulder there.
Isn't that beautiful?
That's an awesome piece
I came
of
in one day
artwork.
and I saw that and I was like, oh my gosh, that is seriously the best thing ever. And they have all of his quotes.
Oh, those are quotes around it.
Yeah, those
Oh
are all
my
of his
gosh.
quotes that he said.
It's really awesome. I'll take a picture so we can post it on the website. But
Yeah, and I remember I came in and I saw it for the first time and I actually got teary-eyed because like that's Dream, He
Yeah.
was my first promo coach. He was my first coach I dealt with when I came here.
that's awesome.
Yeah, and it was great. But yeah, our whole family like loves wrestling. I was allowed to watch it until the Attitude Era came along.
Uh-huh.
And my mom was like, clean your room. And I told her I've got 2 words for her. And I didn't
That
make
didn't go
it.
over well?
No, I didn't make it to the next part. But she was
As
like,
a fan, she knew what your
she
next
knew what I
words
was
were.
saying. And so she was like, you're grounded. And so those were those 2 words. And so then I wasn't allowed to watch the Attitude Era for a little bit. So what I did was I went to my grandmother's house and watched wrestling during the
played that
Attitude
card.
Era.
I see. Yep.
Yes, and I was a big fan of watching Rey Mysterio because in my element, I was a gymnast.
Yeah.
And seeing him do all of his lucha stuff was really awesome. So I really liked watching him.
Yeah.
And I liked watching Stone Cold, The Rock, of course.
Mm-hmm,
And as I got older, I really liked watching Trish. And then knowing that she came from a bodybuilding background was really
Right.
awesome.
Yeah.
And Oksana as well came from a bodybuilding background, and Caitlyn. And like it was just like really cool. And so it was one of those things that I always wondered like how you get there, but I didn't know the path. So when I decided I was done with college cheer, I was like, you know what, I'm done with it. I'm going to do bodybuilding. I got my pro card. I was one of the youngest pros. Competed for 2 years pro, and I was like, you know what, I'm done. Like I did what I want to do. That's my thing. Like I accomplished what I want to accomplish, and I move on.
Next thing.
And I told my mom, I was like, I'm going to try out to be a wrestler.
Uh-huh.
And she was like, no, you're not. And I specifically remember this phone conversation. And I was like, why not? And she was like, Lexi, have you not seen girls like China? And like me
Right.
being 5 foot is, it's a lot different.
Right.
And in my mind, I was like, well, yeah, I've seen China. I want to be like China. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like
yeah.
someone that's empowering and strong. And
Yeah.
that's what's going through my mind. So I kind of sent in a video without my mom knowing. And,
Better to ask forgiveness and
yeah,
permission. right?
exactly.
Yeah.
My number one rule. And so then I tried out. I was flown to LA to do an interview where I met Hunter, and I walked in and I was so starstruck. I was like, oh my gosh, did you know that you're Triple H? Like, I had one of those moments. I was like, oh my
It
gosh.
would be hard not to, though, growing up watching it. I mean,
Exactly. I wasn't expecting it because, like, I walk in and there's like 50 of these like model-looking girls, like really tall, beautiful girls, like girls,
Yeah.
any girl that would live in LA, I'd assume. Because this is my first time in California. I lived in Ohio my whole life. I wasn't well traveled
Right.
that much.
It's just another
Yeah.
call for them, probably.
And I walk in and I was like, oh my gosh. And so I walk in and I see Triple H sitting there, and then that just threw me way off. And then, so I just started rambling about, how my family watched wrestling, how I liked wrestling, how the Great Kabuki used to scare me, and like, just like all this stuff. And I guess that they saw something in that because I got a call and they were like, hey, you made it to the next tryout, which was a 30-day in-ring tryout. And
I
then they
see.
pick 5 girls from there.
Okay.
And I was like, awesome. I land back home in Ohio, and I get a call 2 days later saying, you know what, you're being signed. You start in 4 months. Let's just hope you're as athletic as you look.
Oh, geez.
So that was
No pressure.
Yeah, exactly. No pressure. So that was quite motivating, as you can imagine.
Crazy 4 months, I'm sure.
Yes, very crazy. But I was so excited, and I was so excited to be here. And my first day was, my first bump was just a nightmare. And
So how long ago was that now?
3 years.
3 years, okay. Yeah, the first bump, I'm sure, is always like,
Yes.
did I make the right decision?
Exactly. And like when my first day I came in, I always tell everybody about this. I walk in, and our head coach at the time, Bill DeMott, I wear these like sparkly sequin Ugg boots.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone knows me, I love anything glittery. So I have these like sequin Ugg boots that change colors. I have this full sequin jacket from Victoria's Secret, and this full sequin bag that matched the jacket.
Of course.
And a sparkly headband. And I walk in, and our head coach comes up to me, and he goes, "What are you?"
Not even who.
Not who. What are you? And I was like, hey.
Excited?
Yeah, I was like, I'm excited. So people thought my first bump I was gone. You know, I was going to quit.
Right. Yeah.
But I stuck through it, and I'm really glad I did. And it was a lot of work. It's definitely the most demanding and hardest thing I've ever done in my life, but it's definitely the most rewarding that I've done.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So insult to injury.
Yes.
I love it. Is that something that you came up with, or is that, I mean, just given your background, it feels like something you could maybe have been dreaming for a while, or was that something they kind of were like, hey, you should try this and this?
Well, actually, when I was trying to come up with a finisher a long time ago, I was doing the backflip double knees, which used to be called the glitz flip. I was doing that, and at first I was doing a back tuck, which was no hands, into the double knees.
Okay.
But then I would get these, like, welts on my shins from it. So, like, it was just, I was like, nobody's going to want to take that. It's not...
You don't like it, they don't
I don't like
it.
it, they don't like it, so we're just going to move on from that. But my coach, Sarah, was like, can you do a back handspring into the double knees? I was like, yeah. So Sarah was the one who came up with the back handspring double knees.
Kind of altered version.
Yes.
Okay.
And then not too long ago, when I had the triple threat match with Nia Jax and Carmella, I hit Nia Jax with a standing double knees, front roll into hit the back double knees, and use that as like a finish. And I was like, that's a really good idea. And so I actually told my mom about it. I was like, what do you think about this? Like, I was like, Murphy came up with this. What do you think? And she was like, oh my gosh, I love it. So I texted my coach. I was like, what do you think of this? And she's like, oh, I love it. And I was like, what can I call it? And I was like, it's insult to injury. I was like, maybe I just call it insult to injury. And then eventually, like, eye to eye. So, like, we'll see eye to eye. You know what I mean? Like,
nice, okay.
Something like that. And so that's how that kind of came about. We've actually gotten to the point where I can do it without, like, looking back. And I just do it.
That's a lot of faith in yourself.
Yeah,
but
well,
I'm sure.
I think I've hit it enough times that, you know.
You know you got it.
And
no welts.
Yeah. No
I'm
welts,
hoping,
no.
so.
Such a better landing for me. I don't know about my opponents, so I don't really care.
Well, you got to start somewhere. You
Yeah.
are the important part. All right, well, since this is NXT time, I have a T game for you.
Oh, perfect.
It's alliteration. We're not, like, playing T-pong or anything, which would be gross, probably, to just slam a bunch of T. So this one's called Tag, Tap, or Totally Avoid.
Okay.
So I'll say some wrestlers, and you tell me if you would like to tag with them, if you'd like to make them tap, or if you'd rather just totally avoid them.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Let's start with Carmella.
Carmella? Oh, tap. Of course.
I mean,
come on. Anybody that walks around calling themselves a princess, come on.
Nia Jax.
Probably avoid.
Yeah.
She's my girl.
Yeah.
Have you seen our Facebook Lives? We have so much fun.
No, I haven't.
Oh, we have so much fun on them. But yeah, like we've tagged together before at live events, and
Okay.
like I wouldn't want to face her because you know we're girls. If she ever did something sketchy to me, I'd face her in a heartbeat. But until
right
then,
now she's good. All right. Eva Marie.
Ooh, probably tag.
Okay. Dana Brooke.
Dana Brooke. Tap. You know, I would like to face her.
Yeah.
Yeah, tap.
Sasha Banks.
Ooh. Probably tap.
Mm-hmm. She makes a lot of people tap, so I think she would have it coming.
Yeah,
to her.
exactly. Well, we used to face each other in NXT, and so it would be nice to see now how we would.
Do you want a different stage, maybe?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Nikki Bella.
Ooh. I would like to tag with Nikki.
I bet she'd be fun.
I think she'd be a fun
partner.
tag partner for sure.
And Charlotte.
Charlotte. Oh, tag.
Tag.
Charlotte, I have so much respect for Charlotte. I
great.
love her. She is amazing.
Talk about coming into her own.
Yeah, exactly. And when I came to NXT, she was the first person to welcome me with open arms, and she is just amazing in the ring, has grown leaps and bounds, and I would totally tag with her.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much to Alexa Bliss. She is the best. Great interview, Dale. So it is that time once again, ladies and gentlemen, for... Finisher. Yes, it's the finisher, and it's that time of month again for...
The best of the month at what they do.
Where we choose who we think is the best in the business for the past month. Scotty Narvik, go.
Oh! I just had a premonition.
A premonition.
Yes, Broken Matt Hardy. I love everything that this man does. He is just the most compelling figure on television. I look up everything on Instagram. I look up everything on Facebook, Twitter, whatever there is that I can consume that this man brings to the table. I have to watch it because it's so unique and different, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Carl.
I think Cody Rhodes is the best of the month at what he does. I recently went to Bola over the weekend. I saw his debut at PWG. It was incredible. Brandy announced him. She said that he was the grandson of a plumber.
Oh, boy.
I cried. She said he was the star that left them in the dust. I was just dying. Like, it was incredible. And to see the amount of freedom that he had when he was wrestling, it was like a bird had been set free from their cage.
Is that before or after Tommaso Ciampa bled on you?
Oh, that was after. Tommaso Ciampa bit through his lip, and I got his blood all over my arm on this shirt that I was wearing inside out that Dale told me to put right side in. So, hell yeah.
I love it. Dale.
Kenny Omega. I mean, New Japan Pro Wrestling is always tip-top for me, but he won the G1 Climax. He's the first Gaijin to do it, so that in itself is awesome, and that means he's going to go to Wrestle Kingdom. And he's just, the matches that he had were phenomenal, and he even gave an ode to the old Bullet Club leaders. He did a couple of Finn Balor moves. He did a couple of AJ Styles moves. It was just fantastic.
He really is great, and he came into his own a long time ago, but he's still crushing it. My best of the month at what they do, he's proven that he can do it all for a long time, but especially this past month. Whether it's incredible storytelling, outstanding athleticism, or just some good old-fashioned comedy, he is your man. You can call him whatever you want, a Renaissance man, a Swiss Army knife, a jack of all trades.
You're my best friend.
Or call him your best friend. He is...
I am great. I am special.
I'm talking about Kevin Owens, the longest reigning Universal Champion in WWE history. The guy has done it all, and it's so amazing to see him at the helm. He's flipped it on the crowd and said, you know what, don't cheer for me. Don't tell me I deserve anything because I'm better than you, and I do deserve it. Kevin Owens, my best of the month at what he does. With that said, it's time to put ourselves over for the week. Scotty.
You can follow me on Twitter at Curtain Jerks, and if you want to know anything else I do, hit me up on there. We'll have a conversation.
All right, Carl.
You can follow me at Carlin Bathe on every single thing, and Carlin on Snapchat.
Dale.
You can find me at the CWC Finale Live next week.
Ooh.
Find me there if you guys are there. Also, Lucha Underground debuts tonight. If you're listening to this on Wednesday, I will be hosting their panel at the Paley Media Center this Friday.
Yeah, Dale.
For El Rey. Thank you. Oh,
one more time.
Alicia Fox gonna be there too?
Yeah, maybe. That's amazing, Dale. Have a great time doing that. Of course, I am at Jay Quasto. We are at Fox Compadres, Facebook.com/Fox Compadres. Chicago this weekend. I have shows at the Comedy Shrine this Friday and Saturday. Please, if you're in Chicago, hit me up. I'll show you how to get there. And this Sunday, Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, our 6th anniversary show. It's called Milestone, one of the biggest shows we've ever had. So excited to call the matches. Go to HollywoodWrestling.com for all the info. With that said, guys, we love you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. We love you. We'll see you next week. Keep chasing your dreams.